Cari amici sportivi, welcome to another edition of Red Card Weekly, here where we speak everything soccer, Serie A, EPL, a bit of European, and yes, well, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. First, I'd like to announce that we are taping while we're watching the last 7-8 minutes of the Milan game. We're sorry if we get a little excited, me and Steve. Unfortunately, no, Francis is not going to get excited. To my right, we have Steve. The Mancini brothers say we are the anti-Juventus show. Thanks for that, because the bashing will continue to grow. Polillo? On my left, we have Francis. Stramaccioni said after Pescara win, we're back on track. But obviously he said that after he smoked a bit of crack. Colo Giacomo. And I am Vince. Pato, sei partito con un poco d'onore. Adesso tocca a tu, piccolo faraone tavernese. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Did you like that little line on there?
Yeah, not bad.
First of all, before we start, I'm still watching over there. Okay, we're good. Before we start, as you guys remember last week's nickname that I gave Francis, that is always an excuse that he loses at FIFA 13, I beat him 3-0 and 4-0 back to back, and the reason that I got was it was the controller's fault. The controllers weren't doing, he goes, my guys are not passing where they want to pass. So if ever you guys play Francis on FIFA, it is not his fault if he loses. All right. Oh, and the other time he was babysitting his kid, and he had him on one arm, and he was only playing with one, and that's the other reason that he lost. All right, let's go on. Would you like me to go for some scores?
Let's go with over the scores.
All right, so we had Bologna winning 4-0 on Saturday, and we had the Inter winning 2-0 against Pescara. Big win at the Piazza for the Inter. This morning, Torino 3, Siena 2, Udinese 3, Fiorentina 1, Catania 1, Roma 0, Cagliari 2, Genoa 1, Parma Juventus 1-1, Lazio 2, Atalanta 0, Napoli 3, Palermo 0, and right now we are the 85th minute, it's still 0-0. Come on, Milan, come on. All right, we need this one.
Guys, we'll start with Juventus Parma, and if one team hasn't benefited from the winter break, it seems to be Juventus, because since the break, they've only gotten 1 point out of 2 games, and the first half today, Parma took the game to Juventus. Yep. Credit to Parma. I think they haven't lost 15 games now in a row.
I think it's 15 games that they haven't been beaten at.
And it was a fantastic first half, up and down. The teams were stretched out. Second half, Juventus seemed to have solved the problem. They were dominating. They scored a goal on a Pirlo free kick again.
Yeah.
Which wasn't on the FIFA 11.
Yeah, it was a deflection.
Still a goal by Pirlo.
All right.
And Parma scored a goal out of nowhere to tie the game.
That was a great goal.
Yes, it was a great goal. It was out of nowhere. We have to be honest, because Juventus seemed to have gained control of the game. But Juve drops points again, and that goal came from where Chiellini would have been. Caceres let his man go through on a breakaway.
And Bonucci, I didn't find Bonucci was running at his full speed ahead. I think it was a bit, I probably thought that Caceres was going to catch him up, but I think both teams, you know what, Juventus didn't play bad. I think they played pretty good.
Well, the first half they played under par. That's not the Juve we're used to seeing.
But they, why are we taking out Kirkic for Nocerino?
He wants to draw.
I don't know. Okay, sorry about that. No, Steve, you watched the game this morning.
I have to say, guys, the first half was very... Parma really had some chances to go up ahead, and I was afraid that it was going to be their typical bottom of the table, not one of those fancy games there where there's going to be chances on both sides, but Parma had some chances and didn't score, and I thought that because they were going to score, they were going to drop the points. That was the first half. The second half, to be very honest with you, Parma didn't do anything.
Until that goal, they weren't doing anything.
Juve dominated, they had all kinds of chances. The shot stopper on Parma's side, he was making all sorts of saves to keep them into the game. And the Pirlo free kick, look, there was a foul, it got deflected. Those are goals that happen. Said, yeah, that's a goal that Juve is going to take and usually bring it to the bank, 3 points, and let's go on to the next week. Guys, I have to say, Juve need a striker again.
Well, Quagliarella and Giovinco, that combination, I think we've said before.
It's terrible.
They're the same player, pretty much.
I have to say that I think that Quagliarella is probably... He's an opportunistic striker where he will score, but he's not. It's not for me to say, but in my opinion, I don't think he's an intelligent striker. He doesn't make anybody else better.
Quagliarella always played better when with Vucinic. I think every time we see him play with Giovinco, you know. But Francis, I think you're taking the words out of our mouth. They need a striker. Recently, they're talking about Lisandro Lopez from was it Marseille? It's just.
They're
they
all
need
the
a striker
guys,
because.
yeah, but they're looking at all guys that they want to get on the cheap, free guys that they're
But you know
contracts
what?
are
If they're gonna get something cheap, they can't expect to go into the finals of the Champions League. I'm sorry. You need a striker. Chiellini comes back. You're gonna be good defensively because you definitely saw in the last couple of games you need Chiellini back there.
So they go with the back four guys. Because like
Yes.
2 games in a row that the back three without killing, it takes time to adjust and everything. It doesn't seem to be working.
I don't know why they're wasting time and trying with this three. They have enough players to go with a back four, at least defensively. If you're gonna start with your back three on the offensive side, that's fine. Put someone on the flanks who's gonna be more offensive.
Yeah.
But when you're on the defensive, there has to be a back four.
Yeah.
That has to
Maybe he's
cannot
trying to,
be-
like he doesn't want to go with 2 different tactics. He wants to get everybody to get used to it. But you know what? I think I agree on Steve on this one here. Without Chiellini, Samashko.
But two
Anyways.
different tactics. Let's face it, guys. We're in Serie A. It's the tactical league of all leagues.
Yep.
It's tactics from when you're born to when you retire, and even after when you retire, there's a tactical way for you to retire.
Anyways,
I think we could all- I think
with
we
the
could all-
Lazio win today, we have a championship.
3
guys.
points.
Lazio wins today, playing
Steve said
horrible
it, it's
soccer.
not a one-horse race.
No, playing horrible soccer. Lazio didn't create anything today, but they come out with a win against Atalanta, 3-0.
Guys, we keep on saying it week in, week out. Lazio wins, and
But they got a
Lazio
couple
wins.
of breaks today. I mean, Flocati hit his hand,
Yeah.
he scored.
Yeah,
Then there was
yeah.
the own goal by Atalanta.
But those are breaks that you need in the championship for you to catch up on.
The difference between last year with Lazio, if you guys remember, as soon as we came back from winter break, these bad games, they weren't winning, they weren't
No,
getting any
not
results.
exactly.
And you know what? Yes, Flocari's hand, yes, it wasn't, intentional, but we think back to the Luis Suarez against, in the FA Cup, it's the same kind of situation. Yes, it should be called, but it's not like he had his hand out like this, right? It was sight of his
And he really got an
I
advantage.
have one thing to say though. The goal line ref
yeah.
that they put there, they should give. I don't know the rule exactly if he is allowed to call something like that, but they should give him the authority to call something like that because yes, it's unintentional, but he does gain an advantage and he ends up scoring and it's.
Well, if
Well,
all
that's
11
not-
players are complaining to the referee, I think if all 11 of them are there, he should go to the guy behind the goal line and ask him what he saw. Because if they're there and they can't make a
But he
decision,
was right next to the guy there. He was right next to him.
What's the point, right?
Anyway, elsewhere, Fiorentina, talking about teams that didn't get a benefit from the winter break, loses again. They lost to Pescara last week. They lost to Udine, which seems to be finding form. 3-1. They missed Pizarro, guys.
A bit of controversial on the penalty spot against Udinese, and you know what? I think as soon as that happened, it went 1-1, and then they didn't look back. They did 3-1. Fiorentina without El Hamdawi, without Pizarro, but we all know soccer guys. You need that depth, right? So if you're not winning these games, do you need to go get those depth kind of guys? I don't think they should go for a striker, right? What did they sign Giuseppe Rossi for? He's
That
going to
was
come back probably
not
with
until
like
March.
March, but. I don't know. All it depending. Hamdawi plays from Morocco. They might make it far into the Africans Cup of Nation. I'm not sure. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon saying Fiorentina is like this is a big. It's 2 games, right? Nobody saw them where would have seen them where they are right
Absolutely,
now
yeah.
at this time of the year. So let's see what they go through, and we're gonna get to Roma. It's the same exact thing. But let's see where they go. Even Roma lost 2 games in a row,
Exactly.
right?
They lost today to
losing.
Catania 1-0. Again, Destro missed a lot of chances in the first half.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
But-
you guys here.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna stop you guys here. Please do not compare Fiorentina with Roma. People at home, please do not compare. Fiorentina are in this situation due to injury and lack of depth. Roma's in this situation because Zeman decided to change his formation again.
Okay, let's talk about that. First of all, Totti got hurt in the warm-up.
That's
Osvaldo
gonna
got
happen.
injured midweek.
That's gonna happen.
Pjanic is suspended.
Yeah, and De Rossi.
And De Rossi gets benched today. That one we do not understand.
Because he wanted to play Taxiris on a website that I was reading. Zeman's excuse for that is that he prefers De Rossi with Pjanic.
Wow.
Zeman, you had a winning formula. You won all those games in a row. Stop
And
changing
if there's a
stuff.
day that they need experience was today.
Exactly.
Without Totti in the
They
lineup,
definitely did.
Pjanic,
Because
Osvaldo. Guys, this game's gonna finish 0-0.
Yeah.
That's it. They're calling it right now.
Catania-
It was offside.
Offside.
Doesn't matter. I still got a little.
Catania has Roma's number. Roma can seem to beat Catania, guys.
No,
It's
seriously.
either a 3-2 barn burner or it's
The
a
only-
1-0.
The only time Catania lost at home was when the referees were on Juventus side. I don't know if you guys remember that game over there, but usually no, I'm just
I
joking.
don't
Catania at home is strong, but I probably would have predicted a tie, but kudos to Catania for coming out with the win.
Guys, Napoli trashes Palermo today. Napoli's proving me wrong, guys. I didn't think they'd still be in this situation. I thought they would start dropping points without Cannavaro. Guys, I'm really surprised that
we
Napoli's
Okay,
still.
but today Napoli played Palermo.
It's still.
Yes, they won.
And
They're winning.
you heard it first here on Red Card Weekly. We're giving Gasparini, the
but
coach,
48 hours.
40 games? Okay, we're being generous. We're giving you 48 hours to stay as the coach of Palermo. And it's official.
0-0.
0-0. Mannaggia Milan, you have to take this
But,
win.
talk about Milan, they just finished the game. Since Allegri decided to go with the younger guys up front, El Shaarawy,
I like that.
Kirkic,
I like that.
Niang, it's a different team.
Niang,
They're way more dynamic, guys.
I like this thing since the Coppa Italia because yes, we did lose to Juventus. It was a fantastic game. Boateng in the midfield had his best game of the season. This is where you belong. I like this today.
And it's
Like
a long time we've been saying Boateng should be in the back end of the midfield.
Ambro Leone, Montolivo, Boateng in that midfield, and we had the baby trident up front, Niang, El Shaarawy, and Boyan. But Steve did make a good point during the game I was watching. I believe El Shaarawy should be central striker. Boyan on the side like Niang. I think that's the only change I would have made from over there. But in Sampdoria, 0-0, obviously it's not the result that we want. We would have been able to take over. Thanks for not leaving your phone on silent, Francis. Interistas. But at least we didn't lose.
The only critique I have to make on this is I think that Boateng in the midfield at the halfway point is a little bit too late. Because now he's going to have to go through his growing pains in the midfield. For someone who hasn't played in the midfield, it's tough. You're in between the striker and you're in between the defense.
He's been looking good.
He's been looking good, but today I found that he was trying to do a little bit too much.
Too much. Take your time, Boa. You're not going anywhere. We believe in you. Do what you got to do because that's where you were successful. And let's see what happens in the next couple of games.
I just want to know what took so long. If that would be one question that I would have to ask Allegri, and it would be
Do you think Allegri came up with that, or Galliani or Berlusconi went to have a talk with him and told him, "Listen, buddy"?
I think they went by what Boateng did last year. Great goals that he scored, but I think they realized it took half a year to realize that it was because of Ibra. Everybody paying attention to Ibra, the Boateng, all that space, not Chirino, the same thing. But I believe that now they've realized that your position is a central attacking midfielder. You're able to defend, but you're mezzala. Grazie.
Guys, and finally, elsewhere, Inter got the best remedy possible to cure the problem. Pescara. And Pescara won last week, but yesterday actually, Pescara looked flat. They came with no energy. They just sat back, and Inter wins the game 2-0.
Guys, that's a good game for Inter. It
was perfect.
for
To get us
morale.
back on track was
It's
perfect.
confidence for the team. It's
that's-
3 points.
And that's why I was arguing with these guys before. It's a good thing. Team morale. The team needs morale boosting the situation.
But-
Cassano, stop making it about yourself.
He did not make
I don't want to come out. When Guarin scored, why didn't you press the ball?
You're talking like a Milanista. You're frustrated.
no.
There's no situation at Inter. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody's talking.
Excuse me, it's all over the newspapers.
You're trying to start.
Stramaccioni came out and goes,
Yeah,
don't make nothing out of it.
There's nothing. There's nothing to talk about.
Okay,
There's
fine,
nothing to
fine,
talk
fine.
about.
All right.
Cassano was the best player on the field for Inter, and it shows that without Cassano, there's nothing happening. Nobody can create anything. The only bright light I could actually say is Benassi in that midfield,
Yeah.
the 19-year-old midfielder. Guys, he was composed. He keeps it simple. He has a good tactical awareness. He has good technique.
Yeah.
Gargano, it's over. It's on the bench. Gargano's game has so much garbage in it that I don't want to see him anymore.
Could you say that maybe it's a lack of confidence from Stramaccioni? Stramaccioni came through the youth ranks, so Benassi is someone that he's seen before.
Absolutely.
Do you think that it's a lack of confidence on his part to make a decision like that earlier in the year and bring up Benassi instead of taking Gargano?
The way Inter started the season, then we went on that run. We're getting lucky breaks and everything. Inter actually thought we had a chance to win the title. He couldn't go with youth at that point. He was winning with the older guys. He couldn't put a Benassi in the line.
By the way, can you clarify something for me?
Yeah.
Was that Christian Kivu playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
I don't know, but he was okay.
He had the helmet on.
Yeah.
He was ready to go.
Old Christian Kivu, he's still around. He did good. Anyways, guys, that's for our Serie A segment. Let's talk about the EPL. There was two big matchups. Manchester United against Liverpool. Yes.
Robin van Persie versus Liverpool.
Van Persie scores again. But you're saying
I'm watching the game this morning, and it's like.
Francesco Totti on Super Varietà. Super Varietà.
Yes, we do have a television suspended there at the Parkway, and it is it's funny. It's good looking.
Guys,
Okay,
yeah.
so but Manchester United, the first half, within 10 minutes, ever crosses to Van Persie. He seems to find the balls all the time. Then what happens? Free kick. Van Persie with the beautiful cross. Evra heads it in, touches Vidic, goes inside the. But guys, without this guy, okay, Rooney, Surt, whatever.
Whoa.
But as soon as but the first half, Liverpool.
disappeared. Liverpool nowhere to be seen.
No, wait,
This
sorry.
is supposed to be their big derby for Liverpool.
But
To show up flat like that, to be dominated in the midfield, Lucas Suarez, Lucas, Allen, and Gerrard nowhere to be seen.
no, the first half was.
Allen's game was full of garbage. Usually, he's a guy that's very clean. He was missing passes left and right.
But-
Rogers, we should ask Dan Nixon. What do you think about starting Stuart Downing in the front three instead of Sturridge? Because when Sturridge came on and scored that goal, it changed the game.
But Sturridge, guys, let's remember one thing
Yeah.
too. Sturridge is first, the second day he was signed, he was playing that FA Cup. You gotta give time to these guys to gel, because
I would have played him. I would have
Look.
played him. Downing has been playing at the
As
back for
soon-
the past month. Now he's playing in the front three.
As soon as Sturridge came on, right, Manchester United, I don't know what happened, like for Sir Alex to actually come off from his throne to get onto the pitch and see what the hell is going on, because they were all over the place. Sturridge scores 2-1 after a Gerrard kick in this. You had Borini, Sturridge, Luis Suarez, and guys, if you watch that second half, they had the chances to tie it up.
Yeah, they did.
definitely had the chance to tie it up, so
But Manchester could have put the game away in the first half. They should have.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
But this is what I have to say. I think there that Liverpool's youth really showed today. Their youth and inexperience, especially in a big game like this, the first half, stage fright, a little bit all over the place. Gerrard, he's the pillar. He's played in these games
not-
before.
yeah, he's not the same
But he's
player,
not the
but
same
the-
Gerrard from before. So you could expect them to be taken on. For my opinion, watching the extended highlights, I just can't understand how every ball, every cross ends up on an offensive player's head.
Guys, the midfield of Manchester had a lot of time in the first half. Michael Carrick, I think, is one of the most underrated players in England. He's not a spectacular player.
He does his job.
Oh, and he's a very clean passer, a very good passer. He has good vision. And I think that with the addition of Cleverly playing next to him, that's somebody that's actually doing the running and covering for him. He has less to
Cleverly,
worry about. But Liverpool just gave him too much time.
I think we could all be on the same page here, guys, that we will be able to really determine where are Manchester United once they play Real Madrid
the
and
Champions
see
League.
exactly in the Champions League what kind of gameplay, what kind of tactics will Raj have, because right now against a young team like Liverpool like this, even at Manchester City, guys, they won from what, the 94th minute, right? It wasn't like a very impressive, oh yeah, Manchester United had won that game hands down. So I'm really looking forward to the Real Madrid clash and see what we
The key in the EPL, I think, is don't lose the cheap games, and that's why there's
Yeah.
a 7-point difference between Man U and everybody else.
And talking about Real Madrid, Mourinho was in the stands. I don't know if he was doing some scouting or waiting for a job
Jose.
opportunity.
Jose, not for anything.
Real Madrid tied Osasuna this weekend,
Yeah.
the worst team in the league.
But he came out, he was proud of his players, he said.
And Kaká got
He's
a red
feeling
card.
the heat.
His first ever red card in his whole career.
Kaká.
Kaká.
can't
ever.
believe
And he
it.
came in as a substitute.
Guys, elsewhere, Manchester City played Arsenal. The game was overhyped. People complain about the ticket prices. Please don't come to a Canadians hockey game. Guys, did anyone actually believe Arsenal had a chance to win this game?
Guys, I think Arsenal has this mystique. It's a mystique that people think that Arsenal's a big club still.
Well, they are a big club.
They're a big club in transition.
They're not transiting. They're not spending properly.
They don't have-
They're cheap. They're wasting money on the wrong players. Wenger just wants to spend on young players trying to find talent.
Let's look at it the other way. There was a nice article I read on the internet that compared Wenger's buyings, all the big guys that he bought, whether it be the Overmars, the Henrys, all these big players that he bought for a combination, like even at the Bayor, for a combination of 42 million pounds, and he sold them for over 260 million pounds. Now, for this
That's
kind of
good for-
finding,
but that's good for
but
good.
what
That's
what
good
I'm
for
getting
good.
at, what I'm getting at is that if Arsenal has won all these trophies in all these years, And Wenger's been there for all these years. What are the goals? What is the management of Arsenal? What are your goals? Do you want to win trophies or you don't want to make money?
You know what? Their bank,
They wanna
their
be
coffers
plus.
are full,
Yeah.
okay, because of Wenger.
Yeah.
People in the stands are still paying a lot of money for their tickets.
For passes.
People are complaining. The Arsenal fans are
Yeah.
complaining, but they're still filling up that stadium day in, day out.
Manchester
They're the
City-
Maple Leafs of the EPL. They're
This
the
year,
Maple Leafs.
Manchester City, for that away game, gave back almost
Good for
3,000
them.
tickets
Good for them.
because they couldn't sell them. So their banks are full, but
To Arsenal's defense today, guys, Koscielny got sent off 10 minutes in.
10 minutes, like, you know what, I don't think I could really judge this game because I watched it and that whole red card, okay, Dzeko missed, but I don't think I have no doubt in my mind that they were going to win this game. Kudos to Arsenal. They did try to have a couple of chances, Podolski a couple of times, but that's what I didn't get. Like, Podolski came out for Giroud. If Giroud's been scoring, right, Arsene, why is he not starting? Put up Podolski, put up Giroud, see if you could do something from that. But Steve, you made a great point before when we were having a Ballo Cafe. You're missing that leader.
Oh, yeah.
You're missing that
No
one, that
balls,
go-to guy.
no balls, that
Who's your captain? Vermaelen.
I don't know, but when you're losing and you're a one-man, at one point you need a guy that's going to get down and dirty and done.
Gritty, you know?
Yeah,
nice and
just
gritty.
say, oh, we're in the game. They
That's
don't
it.
have that guy.
You know, they don't. They definitely
Anyways,
don't. You don't have a Zanetti, you don't have an Ambrosini, you don't have a, you know, you don't have a
nobody
Pirlo,
here,
you don't have a, you need that guy to go to, exactly.
Who's the figure of Arsenal? The image of Arsenal right now?
nobody.
Nobody, exactly.
Jack.
All right, this is one of our topics, guys, the FIFA Gala with the Ballon d'Or.
First of all, before we get into it, how much time we got?
Let me see.
We're doing good on time.
We have 8 minutes left.
All right,
Beautiful.
all right.
Okay, let's start with Messi wins the Sport Ballon d'Or of the year. Guys, if there's 1 year that Messi, I know people are saying Ronaldo should have won, maybe Messi should have. Messi got the record-breaking goal tally in a year. It's hard to not give him the Ballon d'Or this year.
Yeah, but you know what? You got a great point, Francis. I got a great point saying that for me the Ballon d'Or is take this guy out of the equation and what would the team be? But once again, what are these players voting on? And I think this Ballon d'Or has lost all credibility. I still
Since FIFA
for
took over the thing.
for Messi to win 4 in a row, right? But let's start with the first one, guys.
That's the
You know,
situation.
Schneider doing la triplette for Inter.
That
Bringing
doesn't
the
mean
World Cup
final.
finals.
That doesn't
But
mean
how does that mean? Doesn't mean anything, right?
Or Iniesta, even that year, Iniesta had a big season. He scored a game winner at the World Cup
You know,
for Spain.
and
Guys,
I don't-
it's become a popularity contest.
It does. You know what? And it's unfortunate because it has become that, and I don't like Cristiano Ronaldo. Far from it. But I will be totally honest with you guys. I thought this one here belonged to him.
It's just because Messi beat the record. I mean, guys, you have no choice this year. Previous years, maybe Ronaldo should have won it. Maybe Iniesta should have won it. Maybe Xavi should have won it.
Maybe other people should
Should
have
have won it
been.
than Messi. But this year, I think should have been Messi.
No, but maybe other people should have even been nominated for it. It seems like this Ballon d'Or, we're gonna just call it La Liga d'Or.
Oh, that's it. Now talking about La Liga d'Or, the
let's
FIFA
go. They
Pro
added
11.
FIFA Pro
It
11.
seems that FIFA's masturbating. I'm sorry for the term over La Liga, and some guys are getting credit that they don't deserve.
Guys, this was
Especially this year, this 11 has no credibility. Casillas at the back. Top goal, yes. Did he have the best season?
No.
No. Joe Hart.
Hart
Neuer
was
at
good.
Bayern.
Neuer at
Neuer
Bayern.
season.
Neuer.
He should get
Oh,
nominated.
that's another excuse for him losing at FIFA because Neuer stops everything when
He's
I
too
play
good
with
already.
Bayern. Okay.
Guys, Dani Alves, Ramos, Piqué, and Marcelo. at the back.
Marcelo, s'il vous plaît, what is he doing there? I would put Kevin Constant on that starting line instead of Marcelo. What
Okay,
is he
even
doing?
Alves this year is not playing.
Piqué was hurt for 6 months.
All these guys that we just named were crippled with injuries. We're crippled with injuries. They had so much
Ramos that
time.
gets sent off every second game. That's very mistake prone.
Guys, this is because it looks good for their cover. They have a good-looking guy, Ramos. I don't know.
In midfield.
PK is going out with Shakira. Maybe it's Shakira.
Maybe it's Shakira.
In midfield. Xavi, Iniesta, Alonso. Iniesta, yes.
Iniesta, yes.
Iniesta.
Xavi is still a great player, but he's on
Not
the
to
way
the
down.
level.
Subpar.
Alonso.
Alonso doesn't.
Alonso's living on reputation.
Alonso's an overrated player.
I think so too.
Alonso's overrated. He doesn't. He's cushioned with good players everywhere that he's played, and it makes him look like as if he's a fantastic player. He is a good player, but I'm sorry,
Doesn't
on this
deserve to be
FIFA
on the-
11, Pro 11, no.
The best 11 players
The
in the
front
world.
three, there's Ronaldo, Messi,
And that was
questionable.
There's no
There's
question.
Falcao too. Falcao had a great season.
Falcao
And-
deserves to be there.
But this is my point on Falcao. Cavani has been doing the same thing with a club of the equal quality in Napoli.
You know what?
You
You
get what I'm saying?
No,
yeah? Atletico finished 8, 9, qualified for Europa League, won the Europa League. Cavani scored 30 goals in Italy. He's doing it again this year.
Take out Cavani out of
Champions League,
Napoli.
Napoli came within a hair of kicking out Chelsea in the Champions League.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
There's
You're
something
making-
wrong.
For once, Francis is making a very valid
Okay, in midfield, Pirlo
Dominated.
Pirlo should have been there. Pirlo should have been there.
Dominated
And
the
the
Serie A
European
and the
Championship.
European Championships.
Juve goes undefeated, one of the best defensive record in Europe.
And now you can,
Chiellini is not nowhere to be seen.
and Juventus fans, I think you can realize now. I think now we can realize it even more that Chiellini should be on the starting 11.
Okay, Schweinsteiger in Germany had a fantastic season.
Bastian.
Bayern makes 2 finals of the last 3 in the Champions League.
Nobody gets nominated.
Nobody from Bayern is nominated.
Gomez scored what, 40 goals? Mario Götze.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good strikers. Talk about
Yeah.
Ibra, guys.
Ibra.
Zlatan, and I like those little comments he made about, I don't know if you guys saw a picture there about Messi and Ronaldo. And you know what? I think Ibra's realized he ain't never gonna make it there because of his attitude. But Ibra, in the last 5 years, guys, if you look at all the stats, forget the last 5 years, look at the last 10 years. How did this guy never
He's
make
never
it?
in
to
the top
last-
3.
It's
Never.
impossible. It's impossible. This guy doesn't make it in the top 3. Anyways,
And finally, Drogba, that carried Chelsea on his back in the Champions League,
Yeah.
that scored 12, 15
no,
goals.
it's Fernando
I mean,
Torres that brought champion. Come on, guys.
Which,
Drogba.
guys, we have 5 minutes left, which leads to our question of the week. Which player, we're going to give you options, do you think should have been part of the FIFA 11? We have Pirlo, Drogba, Chiellini, Ibra, Schweinsteiger, and all.
All of the above.
All of the above.
All
All
of
right? Guys, we'll finish the show with our red cards of the week.
Yeah.
Vince?
Go.
I got a little 2 yellow cards. First of all, one of them is to Mino Raiola, the superstar agent to guys like Robinho, Ibra. When Berlusconi came out and said that Balotelli was a rotten apple, he said, rotten apple, no comment. 2 days after, he comes out, you know what, he made a mistake, he's an actual chair, he's not a rotten apple. Get ready, Napoli's, because Cavani's going to leave at the end of the season. Raiola is not Cavani's agent, by the way. Then he starts saying that Balotelli is going to make 0.0001% to come back into Italy. And this guy did but he's talking about people that's already... Raiola, you used to be a server in a pizzeria, your family's... shut your mouth, because there's no other agent in the world of soccer that talks the way you... Just keep your mouth shut, please. Keep your
Anyways,
mouth shut.
I'll go with my red card of the
Hey.
week, which is the whole... Oh,
I have a second yellow.
Okay,
Second
let's
yellow,
go.
Toronto FC. 7 coaches in 8 years, or is it 8 coaches in 7 years? You've been sucking the ass for the last couple of years.
Couple.
They
joined the league.
Since you joined the league, you come out and you hire a coach
Never coached.
never coached a game in his life, is still playing for Queen Park Rangers, and you're one of the guys who's up at the management says, well, he's not. We don't know when he's going to get here. He's not going to be here for training camp. He's not going to be here for a draft. But we're really excited about having him.
So the current coach has to stay. He knows he's being fired. The other guy
And the coach, he played a fantastic game this weekend.
He did against
With
QPR. Wow, Nelson.
They kept Tottenham. They played that defensive soccer that English
know-
people love.
Watch him. He's going to stay another year. Okay, play TFC. You know what? Both of you guys.
My red card, I'm gonna go right now. It's Zeman. Because last week I held back. I was calm with myself.
You were.
I was okay. I was like, you know what? It was after the Christmas holidays. Yes, they went to the United States to play a friendly, jet lag. I didn't want to get into those conversations. But this week, oh my God. Again, De Rossi on the bench. Taxidis starts. You're so lucky that Osvaldo got hurt because you probably weren't going to start him anyways.
I think Vince Gattuso's in the background watching the show saying,
No,
yes,
I got the confirmation from Vince. He was pissed even himself. Vince Gattuso was pissed.
He
too.
agrees with
And
you,
if
that's
Vince Gattuso was pissed, everybody's pissed. Zeman, La Grinta, Roma. It's enough.
Have a coffee. Take it easy.
Anyways, my red card goes to the whole Wesley Schneider situation. I agree, Inter were wrong putting Schneider on the spot. Schneider, they wanted to take a pay cut, whatever, he wants to be sold. They sell him to Turkey. They give him 24 hours to decide. He says, I won't decide in 24 hours, because he wants to get offers, obviously, from the English league. But the rumors are that if he would go play with Galatasaray, he would accept the pay cut.
No, he said 5.5 million. He would take a 500,000. You guys wanted to give him 4 million.
But it's a pay cut. I wonder if he made that offer to Inter.
Anyways,
Anyways, guys, that's my right. I'm just fed up with those situations.
Before we
It's a joke.
finish off, I got a little message, and you know what? I'm sure he's not even going to watch this because he only watches 10 minutes of the show.
I'm like,
Sammy Mancini, you think we are against Juventus First of all, why don't you watch more than 5 minutes of the show and see that we never bash, we only bash because of our hearts, right? And stop hiding between your phone and going, oh, what you guys, Milan, Pepin, you guys aren't
Okay,
So you know what? Your chair is still here, and if you weren't embarrassed about being on the internet because your friends are gonna make fun of you, come on here and support your club like everybody
this is
else.
just to remind you, everybody's invited to make an appearance on the show. You are more than welcome. Please don't be camera shy.
By the way, I went to high school with Sam Mancini. I love you, buddy. All right?
Ciao.
Guys, ciao.